Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to be reviewing and trying the Ipsy products from this month's January Glam Bag. So to get started, before I have go into any of my makeup, two of the products I already used. One is the Real Chemistry Luminous 3-Minute Peel. I've tried this one about 2 or 3 times, and I have to say I wasn't thrilled with it. I have recently changed up some of my skincare products, so I'm not sure if it's just not maybe interacting well with some of the other products that I'm using, but I haven't really noticed a whole lot of difference. It's supposed to, when you put it on, you rub it quickly over your face, and it turns into, like, you can kind of feel it balling up into like a solid on your face, and it's supposed to be basically activating with your dead skin cells. I have to say I'm kind of more of a person that's more into like an exfoliator to get rid of dead skin cells. I don't really feel like the peel does quite as well. It doesn't leave my skin quite as soft as an exfoliator does, but that's just kind of my personal preference. But if you don't like exfoliating, that probably would be a good product for you because it's definitely less harsh on your skin. The next one is the Roscaro Blow Dry Perfection and Heat Protecting Cream. I usually use a blow dry cream that tends to make your hair a little bit more voluminous and bigger and kind of keep it help it stay in place. This one's more about basically having it be nourishing. It has rosehip, argan, coconut oils. It's supposed to smooth hair and enhance shine, tame frizz, and heat protect against damage, which I definitely feel like it did. Some of the other products that I use to make your hair kind of a little bit look a little bigger, sometimes make your hair kind of feel a little bit coarse or thick to the touch. It isn't as smooth, and this definitely made it feel really smooth and silky, and I don't know if you can tell, but it definitely is a little bit shinier as well. So it definitely did the job, but if you're looking for something, like I said, to make your hair bigger, not necessarily exactly what you want, but if you're just looking for something to protect it and keep it soft and smooth, then I would definitely recommend this. Okay, so to actually get started on the skin with the 3 remaining products, I'm going to be using the Smashbox Camera Ready BB Cream that came in my bag, but before I do that, I'm going to just put some of the Porefessional makeup primer on my skin before I put that BB cream on. You don't necessarily really need a primer when you're using a BB cream, but just because I want to make sure it looks really smooth on the skin, and I've done some other skincare products this morning, I just want to make sure that that goes on well. And I've actually really haven't used many BB creams. I've heard great things about them. I kind of tend to leave my skin as bare as possible when I'm not working. So if I use anything, it's either a light formula or a tinted moisturizer on my days off. Or like I said, I don't wear anything at all, and then the days I am working, I'm usually doing full foundation. So this BB cream is kind of in between. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of this on a flat foundation brush, just on the tip, and kind of just dab it across the skin first. Now color-wise, this is definitely a little bit too dark for me, but just because this is the one that they sent to my bag, I'm going to go ahead and work that into the skin, and then if I see that it's a little bit too dark, I can go in with a lighter foundation. So I'm going to kind of just smooth this in, and you can definitely apply this with a beauty blender or with your fingers even. I just want a nice application to kind of see what it looks like on the skin. So I'm going to kind of just start working this in. And I have to say, it pretty much covers like a foundation would. I know some BB creams are really, really sheer and have all those other great products in them, but this one actually is fairly full coverage for a BB cream. Just keep working that in. Okay, well, if this was the shade that I was, which is probably more of my shade during the summer, this would have been given me a really nice finish. It didn't quite necessarily cover a little bit of blemishes that I have on my chin a little bit. It's not quite pigmented enough, but I'm just going to see if it has any sort of description on it for specifically if this one tackles anything. Okay, this just says that it's just a normal BB cream with the broad spectrum SPF 35, so it kind of has that SPF 30 in there for you. I have to say, since this one is dark, I would obviously use it a little bit more during the summer, and I think a BB cream I'd be more likely to use during the summer because it is a little bit lighter than a foundation. But besides the color being off, I feel like it's worked really nicely into my skin. It seems to be very hydrating. I'm just going to work a little bit of a lighter foundation color in, since this is a little bit too dark for me right now. I'm just going to go in with my L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Matte 102 just to put a little bit of a lighter color in. Okay, so now that we've gone in and kind of lightened up this foundation a little bit, the two other products that I have are, one's just a more of like a contour or can be used as an eyebrow powder, and the other one is a blush. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit of highlighter. I'm using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Dark Circles in the color Light Pale. And because these last two products are powders, not creams, I'm just going to go in and set that with my Laura Mercier setting powder. Okay, and I have to say, even though I know I did mix a little bit of foundation, I feel like the BB cream, it looks really nice on the skin. Like I said, definitely feels very hydrating, and pretty much has covered really nicely and kind of mattified down very nicely. So next I'm going to go in with the next product, Bahama Mama by the Balm Cosmetics. And if you just open it up, it's like a little mini bronzer that can either be used as just a normal bronzer or to fill in your eyebrows. So I'm just going to use it as I would for a contour. So I'm just going to take a little bit in a small Sigma E40 tapered blending brush and just kind of start in the sockets of my cheek. The one thing I'm noticing right away is it seems like a pretty matte formula, and it doesn't seem to have any shimmer in it, which I appreciate because I know a lot of bronzers tend to have shimmer, and that can be kind of annoying if you're just kind of looking for more of a contour color. Okay, and then I'm going to just dust a little bit on the top of my forehead here. It's probably just a little bit too dark for me, but because we have that darker BB cream, it kind of works. But again, these colors might be a little just dark for the winter, or at least the shade that I am right now. Okay. It seems to blend out really nicely. It's definitely not, goes on the skin smoothly, it's not blotchy at all. Okay. And I'm just going to take a little bit with the Sigma E55 eyeshadow brush just on the edges of the nose too, just to contour the nose a little bit. I am really happy with this. I almost wish I was just wearing this as a normal bronzer, just kind of more on the cheeks instead of wearing a blush to wear it as a bronzer, because I think it would look really, really nice. And it seems like it has very good buildability. I don't think that's a real word, but it didn't, necessarily show up super dark right away, but as soon as I put another layer or two on, it really showed up right away. I am really, really happy with this, and I have to say I probably will replace my other bronzer with this product. Okay. Well, this one gets an A+. Moving on to the last product in here, it is the Pacifica Natural Minerals Blushes Coconut and Rose Infused Cheek Color, Universally Flattering. I'm a little bit particular with my blush colors, but we will try this one. This is a little bit more, probably a darker color than I would have necessarily picked on my own. It says, soft sheer, universally flattering shade with subtle pink undertones to create a natural blush that would highlight any complexion. And I guess the shade is actually Wild Rose. So that long title was just the actual product itself. So I'm just going to take my Sephora angled blush brush and pop a little bit of that on the cheeks. Alright, so it's not showing up super dark at first, which is nice because, again, it lets you build the coverage. Okay. It's not super pinky, even though I know it says Wild Rose. It is almost a little bit more on the mauve side. It isn't like that light, Barbie pink color, which I'm quite alright with, especially the fact that I have a darker color on today. Okay. I'm just kind of gently building this up a little bit. I don't want it to be too dark. I am not 100% sure about this color. I think especially with the darker skin tone that I have right now, I think, well, I might have to try it with a lighter foundation as well. I think I'm just a little bit partial right now, but I think if I go in with my lighter foundation, I think it would be a little bit more flattering. Or I think the other thing too is I like my blush to really show up, and this seems very subtle, but for if I wasn't doing a full makeup, I think it would work really nicely. Okay, so I give it an A+. If you are not wearing really heavy makeup or want a really soft blush, but if you're looking for a little bit more color, I don't know if I absolutely love it. Okay, so I think it just depends on what you would be using it for. So, all right, so that is actually the final product. I'm just gonna pop a little bit of mascara on so you can kind of see what the whole look would what it would look like all put together with all your makeup on. Okay, and I'm also just going to pop a little bit of Burt's Bees Tinted Lip Balm in, I believe this is Hibiscus, just to get a little bit of tint on the lips. All right. Okay, so this is kind of the completed look. I'm going to leave my brows actually pretty bare since the makeup is pretty simple. This is what it looks like with all the products. So just a quick recap, the Blow Dry Perfect and Heat Protecting Cream definitely made my hair silky and smooth. It didn't necessarily add any volume, but it didn't promise to in the container. So really what it promised, it delivered on as far as soft, smooth hair without really any crazy flyaways, and definitely very manageable. The Real Chemistry Peel, again, didn't feel like it did a whole lot for my skin, didn't necessarily leave it really smooth or help with any breakouts or anything, but if you really are not a fan of exfoliating, this is a good option to get rid of those dead skin cells if you don't like exfoliating. The Smashbox Camo Ready BB Cream, specifically for this time of year, the sample that I was sent is a little bit too dark for me, but if it was the correct shade, I think I would be 100% happy with it. Went on really sheer, but still covered where I needed it to. And this one was definitely a win if you're looking for a lighter makeup look that isn't your full coverage foundation and something that has some good things in it to help treat your skin. The Bahama Mama bronzer, definitely a win. I will probably replace my bronzer with this one just because it's a little bit more of the brown instead of the orangey undertones, especially. I know my NYX Mosaic Color Wheel that I've been using for a lot of my foundation, it's a little bit, or for my bronzer, it's a little bit orangey. This one is not at all. It worked great as a contour color. I will have to try it as an eyeshadow or an eyebrow powder as well and see how that would look, but definitely as a bronzer, this one is a winner. And then the last one was the Pacifica Blushiest Coconut and Rose Infused Cheek Color that was supposed to be in the universally flattering shade of Wildrose. Good for a very sheer light makeup look, not necessarily if you're going for a full face, but if you want a simple look, this would be a winner. So I hope that was helpful. If you've received these products this month, and if you've received different products that you particularly love, feel free to comment below. Please like and subscribe.